Hi guys, my name's Blondine and I'm just covering for Tara, who I'm sure you're all used to doing these vlogs. She's in Ghana at the minute, so I'm just taking over for this Wednesday with the vlogs. So it's been a really exciting time for me. I graduated yesterday and I was just sort of reflecting on this whole concept of leaving the nest, adulting, as some may say, and it sort of made me realize how lucky I was having family nearby, should anything ever go wrong. And I know from sort of travel experiences, and my parents live abroad, so I know that when I'm sick, and I tend to be one of those people who, if there's something that's wrong, I'll just think it's the worst thing ever. Um, and those are the moments when I wished I was with family more than ever, and that I'm grateful to have family nearby as well. And this sort of idea it sort of comes with the notion of leaving the nest, being on your own to tackle the real world. And it brought me to look into the number of unaccompanied child refugees in the world, because that's just something that I find really difficult to swallow, knowing that there are children who are by themselves, seeking safety, and I just couldn't imagine being in that situation. And I did some research and found out that according to UNICEF, the number of unaccompanied child refugees globally has increased fivefold since 2010. The UN Children's Fund counted 300,000 unaccompanied and separated children worldwide in 2015 and 16, which is a massive increase in comparison to 66,000 that they counted in 2010 and 2011. So, it's crazy to think that one child would be by themselves, in sort of really uncertain situations and circumstances, but to think that there's over 300,000 is just beyond belief, and you can't really think about it. You can't really grasp how many people that is because it's such a massive number. And yeah, the more I looked into it, the more I found out sort of why, or how these children end up being by themselves. And three main reasons that I found was, on the one hand, they are seeking to join relatives, they're orphans, seeking to join relatives who've already reached these other countries. On the other hand, they've lost their parents on the way, which, unimaginable, really. And the third being that a lot of the time families and relatives think that a child by themselves has a greater chance of gaining asylum, being granted asylum, than if they were with an adult, which, I don't know statistically if that's true, but it must be so difficult to get your child to travel, with the sea, on boats, whatever it is they're doing, by themselves. And it also made me think about, these children are at their age where not only in these situations their environments and circumstances are changing, but their bodies are changing as well. And to think that they're by themselves and without people there to explain them, to tell them what's happening, must be just an added level of, uncertainty, and just make them ridiculously scared. I remember getting my first period when I was 11, and I'm really lucky that we were on holiday and I was with my family, and I was embarrassed and scared, and I know obviously you'd heard about a period, but when you get it, you're sort of really just lost for words. And thankfully my mum was around and she, explained everything, sat me down, told me not to freak out, that it was completely normal. But should that happen, should that have happened in a refugee camp where I don't know anybody around me, you know, that I just can't really imagine that. I mean, unaccompanied child refugees, they're sort of the most vulnerable group of a vulnerable group of displaced people. So yeah, and in terms of the work that the Unmentionables is doing, it really puts into perspective the importance of this safety and privacy and security that is so heavily emphasized in the work that they do, particularly in the distribution of products such as undergarments and feminine hygiene products. I mean, just imagine being a child, you just got your period, you have no idea what's going on. You'd feel even more embarrassed being around so many people, but to have gender sort of separate areas to pick up any products that you may need, that's little but kind of a lot at the same time. And also the education programs that go along with these products, that's hugely important when you think about the specific group of refugees. They might never have been told about getting your first period, sexual intercourse, what are condoms, safety, options, underwear, feminine hygiene products. There's so many. I didn't even know about all of them. So, why would a 10-year-old know? And also, another thing is the stigma associated with talking about unmentionable products. So it really has made me appreciate sort of this emphasis on dignity in the work that the Unmentionables do. So yeah, this is something I've been thinking about